everyone. Welcome to ETMartequity's Martech Asia Dialogues, where we try to provide actionable insights, practical advice, and real-world success stories to empower marketers in navigating the ever-changing Martech landscape. In this exciting installment, today we have with us Mr. Soumyadip Chatterjee, Brand Marketing Director at Snapdeal, who is also the brilliant mind behind Snapdeal's brand marketing success.
Hi, Ojasvi. Thank you for inviting me. I think it's a privilege for me to be here. And I am equally excited as you about Martech and all the cool stuff that not just us, but people in the overall ecosystem are doing. And I'm looking forward to a great conversation and also have a mutual learning in this process.
Soumyadip, I'm particularly, as I told you, I'm very much interested in understanding how Snapdeal is navigating its Martech journey to optimize its performance and stay ahead of the competition. So but before that, can you just detail out your marketing strategies? How have you penetrated different markets? How have your strategies evolved over the years? Where did you find the need to integrate technology in marketing? And how are you staying relevant in the dynamic marketplace of e-commerce? Over to you.
Well, just marketing today is not the same as marketing was 3 years ago, because it has evolved a lot, especially because of the use of internet and the ease of use of internet. Rather, I think people were using internet before also, but now people have started trusting it more. And also people have understood that, online marketplaces are, it has all the pros and cons as of a physical marketplace. So there are sellers, some sellers are selling good stuff. Some sellers are probably not selling good stuff. And both the marketplaces like us and the customers have now been, trained and being very used to navigating the social trust and finding out the product which is of good quality, of good reviews, has good ratings, has sellers, sold by sellers who have good ratings, and then buying the right product which is required for them. And now this is also always a two-way street. Now, while the customers are becoming more smarter, I think that also needed us to be more smarter as well. And primarily understand that we are not the only marketplace the customers are shopping on. Right. So I think that it comes from a sense of humility and also understanding the marketplace. We acknowledge that the customer is browsing through multiple platforms, multiple marketplaces, and trying to find the most relevant product for them. And we understand that we have a very little time share of that customer's, mind. So if a customer is, say, intending to buy a product, they probably have dedicated a certain number of minutes in a day to research or to make their decision. And they're going through multiple platforms. And we respect that fact that the customer is giving us X number of minutes, and we want to pack the maximum punch, which essentially means showing the most relevant products, the most relevant content, based on their user behavior, based on their cohorting. So a lot of work has happened in the back end over these past 3 years, so that today we are very proud to say that the experience on our platform for each and every customer is very differentiated. So if you log on to the Snapdeal app vis-a-vis someone else does, the experience, the flow, the first stuff that you see, the merchandising you see is different, right? Based on your cohorting. And that is something, and although it's easier said than done because personalization and customization are the buzzwords, but it's an incredibly tough task, which our product teams, our tech teams have done it in the back end to generate this sort of personalized experience.
So I'll ask this question here. What are some of the retention strategies that you are planning on, or you have planned to make your customers stick to your app?
Yeah, see, I think today the major challenge is relevancy, right? Because if the customer comes to your platform and is not getting what they are thinking about buying, right, then they will simply go to some other platform, or there are multiple options in the market. Now, how do we build relevancy without the customer even telling us and preempting and predicting that customer behavior, right? So what we have done is we have tied up with a couple of third-party tools and services to build certain machine learning algorithms using hashed customer data. Now, this is also a very tricky space to be in, because what happens historically is that marketplaces like us don't trust the promotional platforms, the social media platforms and all that to even pass that data on. But what we have done with the help of this ML algos, we have been able to share real-time data, hashed customer data. We have been able to send stock updates to the platforms through which what has happened, the relevancy of the product which is being displayed to the customer at the point of purchase or at the point of decision, that relevancy has gone up significantly. And because of that, whether it's a new customer or an old customer, the repeat rate has gone up. To talk about retention, I will say that, our repeat customers have increased by almost 1,500 basis points quarter on quarter. And that has happened because of all these personalization techniques. We have actually mapped out which cohort of customer is likely to buy which product at which time of the day. So that helps us in that customization of providing the right product at the right time to the customer.
So could you provide an overview of Snapdeal's entire Martech ecosystem? Like you just mentioned about the relevance and retention tools that you have been using, the third-party tools, and how it has helped you grow. So including the key technologies, kind of platform and tools that you're utilizing right now.
Integration is the key. And without going into the technical jargonistic details of it, I try to explain it in very simple layman's terms. See, I think systems need to talk with each other. We have been working in this sort of a walled garden for a very long time, not just us, a lot of people. But what has happened over a period of time is that we realize that this is not helping us, neither it is helping in passing real-time data, back to where the customers are coming from. So whether a customer is coming from direct or a customer is coming from, say, like an off-deck promotional tool, say like a brand advertising, or coming from an influencer video, or coming from a, say, a newsletter or a notification, which notification is on deck. But irrespective of whichever place the customer comes from, we have built our Martech platform to integrate all those different signals.
Okay.
And it's a technologically, it's a very I'll say a very crucial problem to solve, which we have to a large extent, and because of which the passing of data between all these different platforms is almost instantaneous, right? So if a customer, say for example, of all the ads, if a customer is, say, likely to click on a shoe ad and comes to our platform to buy that, and then eventually shows inclination towards us also, say, exploring socks, which are, adjacent sort of subcategories, because of the integration that has happened, the ML algo learns it very fast. And fast means it learns within 2 to 3 seconds. So by the time the customer goes to the other product or the other subcategory page or the other product detail page, the content will change, or the recommendation of that content will change. The second part is what that integration has helped us is cohorting and predicting behavior, because we are not just dependent on our first party data to make those cohorts and predict that, okay, this customer, when it lands up on this time of the day, is likely to buy this, right? It's rather than it's a decision by a merchandiser sitting in an office. All those decisions are database. Again, that has happened because of that integration. So whether you say, from our CMS to our CRM, to our stock management, to our, visual merchandising, to our promotional, all these different tech stacks have been integrated into the one with the help of these ML algos.
Okay, but how easy, difficult, or confusing is it to understand, right, like Martech and implement technology in an Indian ecosystem right now? I mean, what's an exact journey of Martech look like, from figuring out tools to implementation and then calculating return on the investment? I mean, at a maturity level, if you could say, where exactly are we right now when it comes to Martech?
Try answering this, from the bottoms up approach. You spoke about ROI, and this is the age of profitability as we are living in. Yeah. So out of all these Martech integrations, what has happened are in-platform clicks went up by 2,000 basis points, again, quarter on quarter. Now that's a humongous increase, right? And at the simultaneously reducing cost, because obviously because on a fixed basis of spending, if your clicks go up by, say, 2,000 basis points, then all your margins, your per user revenue and all that goes up, right? And that has happened. And for me, who is a hardcore marketer, it is very confusing. So because I am not a tech, Martech is marketing and technology, right? So I am the marketing guy. I'm not a technology guy. So it is confusing for me. But what I think the benefit of clarity about how we want the experience for the customer, there was this clarity and there was this uniformity of vision between the marketing team and the tech team and the product team. Everybody was, everybody agreed that the experience has to be customized, experience has to be personalized. So it became relatively easier for us. I will not say it was easy because it was a tough challenge and it's still a work in progress. And that will be the same for everybody. I think where fortunately at Snapdeal, the tech and the product teams are exceptionally customer focused. It's not just the marketing or the merchandising, but even the product and tech teams are exceptionally customer centric. All the decisions that are taken here are on the basis of customer, user experience and what the customer is likely to, buy more and appreciate more. So for the rest of the ecosystem also, I think this integration in thought is very important, because while we talk about integration, it's easier said than done, because all these different divisions, CMS, CRM, influencer, social media, branding, merchandising, these are essentially owned by different divisions, right? Or different functions in the company. But only when you have that integration of thought, actually the tech can integrate. But I think things will get progressively easier because of generative AI and more AI tools, more and more no-code tools which are coming up, which will be making it easier for hardcore marketing teams to adopt technology, which has so far been a hindrance. But that also poses a challenge, because today us or some company might have some competitive advantage because of this integration of marketing and technology and general integration of different tech stacks. But once AI makes it very easy in the next 2 to 3 years, then differentiation will be a very different then differentiation will be a very crucial play. And it's simple. Understand it like this. Back in the day, say 15 years down the line, or even 10 years down the line, having a website in itself was a big thing, because having a website meant that you need to have, X, Y, Z number of people, you need servers, there's that 50 different things you needed to put it up. Yeah. Today it's like this. Today, you can just go online and make a landing page tomorrow and start selling, or you create something on Shopify and start selling. So that's the reason differentiation has become a key, whether it's price or quality. So while Martech will become easier and easier for people, but there will be other challenges. And those challenges can only be solved when there is customer centricity. There is no two ways about it, because because customers are going to still want the same thing 10 years down the line, which is cheaper stuff, better stuff, and faster delivery. These three things are not going to change. So whatever we do in Martech, as long as we continue to solve these three major asks from the customer, I think we're good.
What about AI and ML? If you're talking about technology, you already spoke a little bit about it, but how is Snapdeal actually using these technologies, AI and ML? And you also talked about generative AI to personalize its CX and make product recommendations.
Yes. So we already spoke about, the ML algos using our hash data to pass it on to the, platforms and back. Cohorting is happening. We spoke about how the model gets updated within a span of 2-3 seconds on the basis of, the user behavior. I think one crucial thing that we have done are, first of all, we are working with, LLMs, which is, large language models like ChatGPT, with our content management system to generate relevant content, and which is written content. And secondly, for visual content also, we are heavily using generative AI in our visual merchandising. So what happens is, when the customer is landing and the customer is looking for a particular product, they want to visualize it in a certain setup. Either, say, for example, if they want to buy say a particular dress, they want it to be visualized in a certain, say, seasonality, certain, like the fashion has to be designed with keeping in mind the seasonality, keeping in mind the trends, keeping in mind the, the price points of that. Now through generative AI, we are able to generate these images at scale, which was earlier impossible. Because earlier what used to happen is you could say only do one shoot once a season. You will do once a shoot for one season, and then you are stuck for those 3 months with that set of images, and that's all you have to appeal to the customers. Today, that is not the case. Today, very clearly, the algos are telling us, okay, look, your customer wants to have or wants to see products of a specific cut, of a specific design, of a specific print, of a specific fabric, in a specific background. Whether it is wedding, whether it is going on date nights, whether it is, whatever. So all these different variables, earlier, a brand like us or any brand did not have any real-time process of creating those visuals and showing and creating relevancy. Because relevancy is not just created with the right product, even with the right imagery. Because if it's summer and I'm showing a summary design in a summary backdrop in a, say, a outdoor mountain setup, it's likely to convert more compared to a normal product in a shot in a studio, right? It is basic marketing because it's more relevant. This is what we are solving with generative AI currently, because generative AI is making us able to generate content at a personalized level at scale. Whether you are buying kurta, whether you are buying bed sheets, whether you are buying a, say a kitchen ka dabba on Snapdeal. And yeah, these are the two very exciting projects that we are working on, and we are very, very gung-ho about it. And the pace of progress overall in generative AI and LLMs is very high in the market. And we are almost, integrating those technologies on our platform at the same rate.
That's very interesting, actually, how you're using all this like generative AIs and everything. And Soumyadip, now like Snapdeal has also, as you spoke about, like great omni-channel presence, right? So can you discuss Snapdeal's approach to omni-channel marketing and how the company leverages different channels to reach and engage with customers? You can also talk about your social media strategies. How do you leverage influencer marketing? And most importantly, how do you measure investments like these?
We do not segregate between, I mean, let me frame this differently. So we actually do not look at it from a silo point of view at all.
Okay.
We have a very uniform view towards marketing. We know, and what we essentially believe in is that personalization works, relevancy works. Whether we do merchandising, whether we do product, whether we do content, we already discussed all of those things. But the same theory and the same belief of personalization and relevancy works on our social media as well. What we are doing is, we are using tools like Bard very, very regularly. Our social media teams are regularly using it to generate trends. And earlier, those trends was limited to, say, seasonal trends or monthly trends. Now we have gone to even weekly trends and weekend level trends, right? So that is helping us generate social media content also much more sharper, much more relevant based on what people are searching right now and browsing right now. So that has helped us. With respect to notifications, which is also a, technically an on-platform tool, notifications, the moment we did this cohortization, so through ML algos, we started classifying this customer into multiple cohorts. The moment we started doing that, our CTRs went up by 2x, straight up over a period of, 2 to 3 months, our CTRs went up by 2x. Because now, before the customer is thinking of buying something at a certain time of the day, the notification already goes there because it is predicting it based on other people in the same cohort searching in a certain way. Say, for example, of a certain cohort, we know that, okay, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, they are searching for a product. Then the similar products or similar subcategories start getting, pushed to everybody in that cohort and prompting them to come to the platform, check more products or discover more products. So yes, I think social media, influencer marketing, and notifications, all of these, which are the soft measurement tools, because you can't have direct attributions. You can't measure that, okay, who came from notification and bought exactly from notification. There is no direct attribution. But the input metrics, which is CTRs and clicks, those have gone up significantly. So we know that it is working and it is adding towards the company's goal of profitability.
So like understood that these technologies have enhanced like internal efficiency, facilitated collaboration among teams, and ultimately improve customer engagement and satisfaction. But that's the brighter side. As you just mentioned, like you have issues when it comes to like attribution. So maybe there are some other challenges also which you would like to mention, like when it comes to Martech.
See, I think especially with, and as we integrate all Martech solutions with machine learning algorithms, there can also be inherent biases, right? And just because it is a machine logic does not mean that there cannot be biases, because that logic is as good as the data that has been fed, because it's only reading that data and try to create trends. So we do not treat anything as gospel. Just because the AI has suggested something does not mean you treat it as gospel and we just scale it up across 100% of the users. We don't do that. We test every single hypothesis out vigorously, both in terms of either we do A/B testing or we do multivariate testing, because we inherently understand that under any simulation, right, there are multiple way outs, there are multiple suggestions, and it's crucial to test all. What we do is we give real-time feedback to our ML models.
Okay.
Right. And that helps in brand safety also. That helps that, okay, a bad product does not get recommended. Because what happens, the moment a customer buys something and the customer reviews that product, that is instantaneously fed, near instantaneously fed to the ML algo. So it learns immediately, so that the learning gap is very, very short. So while it's not that we have eliminated all biases and nothing wrong can happen, but we are slowly reducing that feedback gap. Today, that feedback gap is just as soon as the customer receives the order, puts the reviews, our ML algo is learning. And hopefully in the future, as the data set keeps getting bigger and stronger, and the algo keeps on learning more, we are very hopeful that in the future that gap will further reduce and we will almost give near perfect experience to the customer.
Okay, thank you so much, Soumyadip, for your time, and it was a pleasure to like have you today and hear all the insights about Martech. I guess like I could kind of comprehend what exactly is Martech, and so as our viewers here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ojasvi. Bye.